Harry, congratulations on this film, The Radleys.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
This film is a lot of fun to watch, but maybe it's just me. I just love vampire films. But we have to hear it from you first, from both of you. Is what initially drew you that you wanted to be part of this project?
Oh, I mean, I think for me it was that thing about I got the script just before the second round of auditions, and I read the whole thing in one sitting, just straight through. I tell no word of a lie, honestly. And it was just that thing of you kind of it's sort of pegged as a vampire film, and you start reading it, and suddenly you realize it's this beautiful romance. It's laugh out loud funny. It's got all these incredible layers to it, and I think just that particular thing about about Rowan being being so shy and so inward and kind of having this amazing arc through the course of the film. I was like, I need to do this. I've got to do this. I prayed.
Well, for you,
Yeah,
Bo.
it was the same kind of vibe for me. I mean, yeah, I also read it back to front as soon as I got it, and then kind of just, I mean, not the story itself is so fantastic, and the fact that it was adapted from Matt Haig's novel, he's such a fantastic author. I mean, the cast attached to it, Damian Lewis, Kelly Macdonald, we got Sean Parks, J.I. Cargo, and also just the director, Eros, he's fantastic. And it's just like I think it's such a heartwarming film. It's so multifaceted, so many different things going on, but it all ties together really well. And yeah, I just think that it's very relatable in many ways for anyone that would watch it.
Now, of course, like you mentioned, this story is based off the book. So, as actors yourselves, after you read the script, do you pick up the book later, or do you try to separate yourself from the book? Because from my understanding, this story is very different from the book.
Mhm, mhm. I mean, for me, it was kind of separating myself from the book because there are so many different like changes in it when it comes to the characters. Like my character is younger than Rowan in the book, and obviously this is an older dynamic, so it's very different. And also just kind of a new take on the character is what I tried to do, rather than sticking to what was already out there.
How
Yeah,
about for you, Harry?
the same thing for me. I think I kind of made the mistake of trying to thinking it would be a really good idea to read the book at the same time as getting into rehearsals and starting to film. Because I knew that it would be different, sort of just from like the bit of reading that I'd done around it. And then I think getting into it is kind of I realized just how kind of how different in a very good way, but how different it was. Rowan, he's the Rowan that I felt the script was describing for the film was a very sort of changed 16-year-old from the Rowan in the book. But having spoken to Matt about it, he loved those changes, and I was very excited to bring them to the screen. But I think it was definitely that thing about I think if I spend too much time in the world of the book, it's going to completely add on my brain, and I'm going to get very confused. So I had to kind of put it aside for a little bit and focus on the script.
Harry, how did you get into the mental state of your character?
It was hard because he really does he has a very strong journey through the film. He is, at the beginning he can barely, voice he knows his inner feelings, he knows himself very well. But I think it's just that thing about openly kind of recognizing his desires and his huge crush he has on Evan, Bo's character's Clara, her best friend. Um and then I think just as he moves into the later stage of the film, and obviously spoiler free, he undergoes a huge amount of hardship. I think for me it was that thing of in order to make Rowan completely believable, I needed to fully sort of access that physically, that very kind of tight, tense, sort of reserved, teenager, young boy. And then through the film, I can relax, I can let go as he sort of tries to accept his vampirism. I think the physical for me was a very, very important part of that.
That is so true. And Bo, I do completely understand that your character is a lot different from Harry's character in this case, but it's very funny is because the concept of being a vegan with the hunger for thirst is hilarious. So tell us about playing this character and it's good to see color in your skin.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. The makeup team was amazing at paling me down when I was pre-blood. But yeah, I don't know, stepping into Clara's character, I guess I kind of just because I was 19 at the time of filming it, and obviously Clara is 17, so kind of stepping back into a younger self, and just thinking about how when I was younger at school, I was awkward. I was trying to figure out who I was, and I guess just bringing that into her. And then obviously with the change that happens, it's like that she goes from kind of one type of vibe into being this very, very confident woman who, yeah, I guess finally knows her place in the world.
Absolutely. Now, what kind of delight was it to play vampires in on screen? I mean, it's always a dream for any actor to play that type of role. Tell us about playing that role and donning those fangs onto yourselves.
It was a challenge. I mean, it's not the kind of thing you do every day. I still remember one day when we were all sat in the green room in the house on the location we were on, when the amazing props team came up and went, "We've got three choices of blood. You know, which one do you fancy?" It was very surreal. But I do think I think it was so fun trying to, getting to play monsters like that. I mean, obviously, monsters is a big word, but for how they feel about themselves. I think there's that kind of, putting the fangs in, the drinking the blood, the physicality of that. Eros worked for a long time with us on sort of figuring out how that kind of that ecstasy and that transformation would work. Um, and yeah, I think it was just, I mean, it's such good fun, such good fun.
Mm.
Putting his fangs in, there's a moment where Rowan kind of gets his hands dirty a little bit towards the end of the film, and yeah, it's just had a ball, scary ball, but a ball.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and like just I think some of the best times I had on set was when I had those vampire fangs in because when you put them in, I don't know, you just feel different. You feel like, okay, cool. I've got sharp teeth. I can, really step into the character. I mean, there was a lot of blood, like a lot of blood. It was very sticky. It tasted really weird. Like a bit tangy in a sense. Um but yeah, just to be able to, I guess, play a character that is human, but also has that side of supernaturalness and like blending the two together and trying to figure out how that works in this world. It was just fun, it was a really good time. Yeah, really fun.
So so the blood they had on production tasted kind of tangy.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
yeah, it was quite sweet, and then I think towards the end of production we ran out of the sweet stuff, and we had to use like menthol flavored blood, which was
Mm,
yeah, there was one
yeah.
day Damien and I were both sort of trying that out, and it was yeah, interesting.
Well, those type of productions are always fun. Well, let me wrap it up with one last thing because I think the biggest challenge for this part, what was amongst you two, but it was amongst Damien having to play, two different characters on the production. But I want to know from both of you is how do you react to an actor who's playing two different characters on production? How do you handle that?
It was yeah. Oh, sorry, no, Bo, you go.
I was just gonna say handling it with like wonder because how did he do it so well? I mean, he's just fantastic, Damien, the way that he shifts. Like he's like a chameleon, really, like a shapeshifter. And also just to kind of see the behind the scenes, the technicalities of how they actually did Damien, his body double, and then switch the characters over. And then I don't know, just to yeah, to witness that like firsthand, fabulous. So cool, so cool.
It was a masterclass. It really was. I mean, he's just stellar. I mean, watching him kind of, appear as Will, this kind of, very like lanky rock star, kind of, thinks he's a god, and then sort of he leaves set for an hour and he comes back as a sort of very reserved, beige-loving Peter. Was just, I mean, it's incredible to watch. And I mean, Damien's just, yeah, such a fabulous actor. It was a privilege to get to work with him. Really was.
Well said, well said. Well, congratulations to the both of you for the Radleys. It's such a good ensemble film in this case, and it's a different vampire film because I want to say it's like a suburban vampire, and you guys were like, growing up, trying it's coming of age vampires is what I'm trying to describe. So, thank you very much for speaking to us about this film.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Thank you.
time.
It was amazing.
Bye now.
Bye,
Bye.
bye.